Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. What's up? Good to see you, Arif. What's up, Lucas? What's up, Itara? Good to see you. Hello, guys. How's it going? It's great to have you guys here. Young Place, what's up? Hi. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm happy to be here again. Another Thursday, ready to create something with you guys. We're going to keep going with what we had last week, and we're going to be doing something pretty sick, and just like going into that artwork and trying to determine if we want to double down and keep making it busy and crazy the way it is, or if we want to just simplify a little bit more and make it a little bit kind of easier to see and understand. I feel like we have a lot of layers going on. Let me show you guys what we created last week, just in case you don't remember. And then obviously we're going to go into Discord and check out y'all's work for this week, which is always so much fun to do. But yeah, also if you have any comments, any questions, anything that you want to talk about or describe or say, feel free to do that on the comments. What's up, Dino? Good to see you, man. Also, we have our Discord channel, which will be linked at some point on the chat, so you guys can join. If you haven't joined, make sure you join the Adobe Live channel there, and you can share your work, especially if you go into the Adobe Live, and the channel is the on the spot channel for this show. You can share your content there. When I switch to my screen, so you can see that real quick. But you can switch. You can share your work over here, and we can all check it out together. And I feel like it's a really cool way to share with the community what you're doing, and kind of display a little bit of your skills as well. So yeah, we have a little bit of recap of also everything that we've been doing since the beginning of the On the Spot show, which has been a lot of different episodes. You can catch some of them here. Also share some of your work. So going here, we're going to be reviewing Arif's and Lucas' work right now, which is the only two that I see from last week, I believe. Yeah, so we'll check them out in a second here. But yeah, this is what we did last week. We created this bad boy, and we went all the way into this point. And this week, I want to just keep perfecting this and doing a lot more of it. What's up, Marsha? You know, I was just about to say your name because I scrolled up on Discord and I saw one of your old submissions. I was like, where's Marsha? I haven't seen her in a while. Good to see you, Marsha. Welcome back. She's been in the country planting? Oh, yeah, planting cedars. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than being outside doing stuff. So I'm really happy for you, but I'm really happy that you're joining us today and that we have you here. I was a little worried about you. Good to see you, Marsha. Yeah, so we created this last time, and we're going to be keeping it, going with this design and doing a little bit more. Last episode, when we wrapped up the episode, I started adding the squares, and I was like, man, it would be really cool to do some of these squares and do a little bit of that and do some more of it. So I want to do that today. I also want to make it to where these eyes here in the middle are a lot more of the accent of what everything is happening around. Do some color as well. We have a color palette here too, but I also want to create some letters on the left side here that kind of mimic these letters that are kind of like square letters. So if you guys know any letters that feel kind of similar to that, let me know. And I want to start adding some color textures. Also, we had the problem last week of not knowing if we wanted to go darker here, heavier, or like keeping it more light, or like kind of similar to this maybe, where it kind of equals the weight on the bottom and the top. Yeah, I feel like there's something here that we need to do, some play that we need to happen there. And also the squares that I'm adding here, I feel like there is also something there that we could play with and add a lot more of. But let's go to Discord real quick and check out y'all's submission for this week. And then from there, maybe we can just jump back into this and keep working. So let me switch to Discord. And we have a submission by Arif this week. This looks like it's the original image. And then a little bit of this. And then you're doing some of the split frames that you've been doing with testing different textures and different things. In the same picture, which I always love seeing. And I like how you've been exploring that. I think you had another one a little bit ago where you did a little bit of that, but then you cut into it. Not sure where it is, but yeah, it's so good to see you adding more things into it. I have started with the low angle street style photography found on Pixels. Then use the vertical split frame composition style. Feel like raining in the style of the illustration. Neo noir split frame composition. Also apply the raindrop style effect via gradient on the text. Yeah, it's so good to also see you doing some stuff with text. Arif, are you doing some of these on desktop, or are you doing it on the mobile app? I'm interested to. I think last time you said you were doing it on desktop, but I want to make sure. But yeah, really cool summation, Arif. Thank you for submitting and good job. I see here that you alternated the rainy part to the metal here and the realistic photography. This feels really cool. I feel like, an idea that I would give you with this, maybe when I saw this image, maybe doing a kind of like a Spider-Man type of like breaking reality type of deal in the metal would be really cool to try out, because you could have the real image happening where it tears, like it's breaking instead of a straight line, and you can see the eye of the real model here, but then you can see the rest of his cartoon. That would be super sick. Yeah, desktop. Yeah. So you can do something like that here, where you find maybe a paper texture that's ripping, and then you put it on top to kind of copy the shape of it. And maybe you show a little bit more of this real model, maybe her eye or something, and then you go into the cartoon outside of it. I think that could be really cool. Just an idea. And then we have another submission by Lucas with a cool artwork. Let me read it. You guys, this contribution for this week. I couldn't participate in the live stream last week, but I will be there today. Awesome, Luca. Thank you for submitting this, man. I also see you here in the chat. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll give you a little recap of what happened last week in a second, but I love this. So fun. I love how strong this is on the left eye here. I feel like there's so much happening, so much energy. Yeah, I love these kind of patterns inside that you're doing. You do such a good job of layering different things and keeping everything also very easy to digest, right? It's a balance, and I feel like you're hitting that balance really well. I love some of these stuff that you're doing here in this kind of like techie info word thing that you're doing. I feel like it's brilliant. Good job on this. You always do such an amazing job on colors, the blue colors with the white, and then preserving some of the the actual skin color inside is such a cool thing. This red that comes from, I'm guessing, the darker areas of the photo, the shadows, such a cool thing too. Yeah, so it looks like you're doing the gradient map, but then also splitting the skin and putting it on top, which is pretty cool. Great job on this, like every week, thank you guys for submitting, and thank you for sending these out. You guys always do an amazing job at your creations, and I'm happy that you're submitting. All right, so we got that done. So let's jump back into Photoshop to see, this is what we made last week. A little crazy, and just to do a little recap of what we did, we had this model. This was the first step going into this model over here. This was the prompt for the model, and then we created this model, and then from here we were able to design different poses for the same model, which is really cool. Yeah, and I have all the different prompts over here. I explained a little bit of how to do these last week, and how you guys can like imitate or do the same thing, where you're like kind of copying exactly the pose or a position on a photo, but then you're adding your own model into it. And yeah, these are the results we got. And then what we did is that we're layering all of those, or most of these, or some of these, in with this photography right here. So it's really cool to just see it all coming together. So you can see I'm using here 1, 2, 3, 4 of the photos. Which other ones do we have available? We have the hands. We talked about doing the hands at some point. Maybe we do them. Maybe this is the episode for them. And also we talked about doing this one. I think is the other one that's missing. So let me download it real quick and just see if we can add some of it into it. What's up, Annie? Thank you for being here. What's up? Okay, so I also brought this other texture into the mix that I think could be really cool to either throw on the back. I've used this texture before with some of my designs, and it came from like a scan that had, this design, and I kind of separated it. And I feel like it could be really cool as an accent to the back. And maybe we can play a little bit more with it. But yeah, I definitely do want to hear those hands. I do want to see if we can frame this a little bit better, maybe. Man, I don't know. I do like these hands kind of framing some of. Yeah, this is the thing. Do we keep making this complicated, or do we simplify it? What do you guys think? Because we could keep forever like adding layers and layers on this, and just making it more of a mess. What do you guys think? Jenny, what's up? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Yeah, I don't know which way to go, guys. What do you guys think? Would you keep adding more things to it, or like go start like simplifying more? I feel like we could, add a few elements like these hands. I'm asking the question. I keep just adding stuff, but I feel like these hands could frame this pretty well. This could be a good addition over here. Maybe these ones have to move down. Something like that, maybe. Like compositionally, I feel like this adds a little bit to the mix. Maybe like that. Maybe we didn't use this one. It is kind of cool though. Maybe I'll duplicate it, put it on the other side. Let me see. I mean, the artwork is not completely symmetrical because we're not mirroring the elements. But I feel like we're achieving a pretty good level of symmetry with the stuff that we have going on. Obviously, honestly, I didn't notice how badly cut this was. I need to go back and cut that again. But yeah, I think, let me put this hand here to see if I even want to use it. But I feel like if we just cross this a little bit more. Maybe like that. We can maybe use them. We'll see. Something like this. Put them in the middle. She looks like an evil villain now. Maybe. Love the composition. Like the hand. Simple. All right. Everybody has sort of a different opinion. So yeah, I feel okay. Let me mute these two hands on the back. Keep the ones down here. I feel like those work. And I really, you know what I really like that we did last week? This kind of glowing thing here that's coming out of her hand. I feel like that was really powerful because it feels like she's holding some powerful stuff. I feel like this hand over here could have some of that inside of it coming down. Let's cut this image out the right way. Maybe using the pen tool or something that's a little bit more sharp. So yeah, let's start with that. Let me move this up because I do want to use this. I do want to use this hand, and it is a little bit messy, and it is a little bit small. Yeah, maybe we can do that, and then we can add a little bit sharper edges over here and over here as well. Sweet. And then I'm just trying to make it a tiny bit better. I don't know if this way, if I'm going to be end up paying my laziness in a little bit, where I'm gonna have to recreate this. But yeah, I'm trying to just make it a little bit faster. Being a little bit lazy cutting it this way, but using the selection tool a little bit and just cutting out of it a tiny bit. There you go. Yeah, it just has so much like stuff going on. It feels like a positive, possessive character with dominant attitude. Yep, that's what it feels like. Feels like she has like psychic powers or something like that. I've never read comics before. I forgot if I mentioned this last time or not, but I've been reading some comics that are pretty interesting. The cool thing about comics that I'm liking is like there's such a strong way to tell a story, like visually, obviously, but also like you can build a story in the world and like with just a few images, and it just feels like such a powerful medium. And I've been getting so into kind of like the art for it. I feel like so strong and so good. So yeah, it's something that I've been enjoying. I'm going to mask. Where is it? I want to mask this. Cutting stuff out is never fun, is it? I don't know. It's just one of those things that you have to do in life. But I mean, thankfully, right now is a lot easier with AI. But like in this case right now, it's not working great. I don't want to really spend the time doing that during the show because like we're doing this thing, we're creating. We don't want to stop and have to cut a hand out. But at the same time, we kind of need it to be good. And it's not good. It's not good. It's not. It's so bad. It's so bad, guys. Still bad. I'm gonna have to use a pen tool. Spend like 5 minutes cutting that out. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there, and then I'm gonna make the decision if I want it or not. Eventually, at some point, we'll see. All right, so I do want to create this energy ball here on her hand. Maybe both hands, maybe one hand. We'll see. So let me do that first. So I'm gonna start with maybe this orange underneath her hand. Maybe like this. I also have so many layers going on here that I'm trying to see where it needs to go. There you go. And then I'm going to do white on top of that. Kind of like this. And then I'm going to mask it with this bad boy. The other way around. Sweet, yeah. So it looks like there's like something going on there. Yeah, like I said, there's so many layers on this thing. As far as like not too many layers, but at the same time, there's a lot of layers that are intersecting one with another. So when I'm adding some of these things in, it's just not. I have to be mindful of what goes where. Cool. If we are gonna leave the hands there, which I feel like positionally they look good, but they just create another layer of something. I'll think about it a little bit more. All right, let's just start adding one of the inspirations that I want to look at today. I want to share with you guys is this guy. His name is Alex Ross, and he makes artworks for like comic books, especially like covers of comic books, because his artworks are so somewhat realistic within the realm of comics. He makes images like this that feel like could be real humans, so they're not like extremely cartoonish images, and they're very powerful. And one thing that he does really well is this kind of like he has like a 50s kind of vibe, but he does a lot of these glowing things that feel really good. His lighting is so dramatic, like this Batman thing on the back, and the way he's using lighting. I don't know if you guys know about this artist, but he's really good. I have a whole book here in my house. Let me pull it up. It's down here. So I want to show you guys. There's a page here that I haven't seen on the internet, like on Pinterest. But sometimes what he does is that he does all of these he paints all of these things, but then he does this effect sometimes where he deletes the shadows, on on a character. So he grabs the whole image, and this sort of deletes the shadows. Let me show you that real quick. Let me see if I can find it. He deletes the shadows, and then you see through the shadows like a pattern that he has in the back. And it just feels like such a modern effect, and he's been doing this for so long. It feels like a computer effect, but he's doing it in real life. He's painting it. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll switch my camera so you guys can see it. Yeah, he does that type of effects that feels. His style of painting feels like old school painting, but then some of his lighting and his effects feel so modern. It's just hard to. I've been looking at his art and kind of understanding it, and you can see a little bit of inspiration of even what he makes and how he makes it into what we're doing. We're creating last week and this week with the colors and the energy. I'm trying to find that double exposure kind of effect. I mean, here's a little bit of it. Let me show you guys real quick. So let me switch my camera to that one. Sweet. You guys, oof, close up on me. I spent all the time pulling that up and it just closed. Let me see. Let me find it again. Sorry. It's gonna be worth the wait. It's gonna be worth the wait. Don't worry. Yeah. Did you guys know about these artists at all? Is there other artists that you guys love? Okay. Let me show you. Within the comic scene that you can share with us. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but he's doing like over here on this area of the face, he's like deleting all this darker part that used to be shadows there, and he's making it see-through, which feels like very much like almost like a computer type effect, but he's using it for his advantage on the composition to just make it cleaner and easier to see. I thought this one was brilliant. Let me show you guys this one real quick. It's kind of like the same thing on this wolf one. It's focusing. Okay, check it out. So he's doing I don't know if you guys can see that well. Can you? All right, he's deleting the shadow here, and you're seeing through the shadow, but then he's deleting everything else is highlights, so you can see all the highlights and everything. But on here, on this wolf, because it's intersecting with the highlights of his face, he's then deleting the shadows on this wolf too, so you can see the shape of this silhouette. So it's just brilliant how he's like using that and utilizing that to kind of play to his advantage on the composition. And I want to kind of try this with this. I want to finish it off, and we can maybe see how we can implement some of those things into the artwork that we're doing. Yeah, because I feel like his use of transparency and light and obviously color composition, this guy is a freaking genius. But I feel like in a way, like his use of lighting and some of those things is so brilliant, so good. Yeah, it's almost like motion blur, but he's doing a motion blur effect in the background, and then he's deleting the shadows on his painting. Yeah, almost. I mean, it kind of feels like this effect that he's doing here. Obviously, he's doing the Invisible Woman here, so it makes sense. Awesome, man. I feel like it's better now. It could upload anything. It's because I'm reading some. I just read mid text of some of you guys. It's okay, Dino. You couldn't upload anything today. This week. It's totally fine, and that happens. Some weeks, are just busy. It's hard to create stuff. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit of a motion type of effect, like you're saying, yeah. But also utilizing the shadows, or like using the shadows to show through it. I'm trying to see here if we find another image like that, so we can analyze it a little bit closer. Or maybe we can find. Let me see if I can find. I can find exactly what this image was called. And we can pull it up on the computer so we can see it close up. This was the cover to George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones #1. Let me see. So it should be Alex Ross. Game of Thrones. Yeah, here it is. See if we have in the better quality. Maybe. Yeah, this. It's so cool that he made this cover. Okay, so let me go back into Photoshop and we'll take a look at it full screen. So, a little bit small. It's bugging out. Okay. Sweet. So, yeah, as you can see, it's like a motion effect type of deal mixed with something came with this image. Like, you open it, started like lagging my computer. But it's a motion effect type of deal. Let me close this page. Maybe it's putting some strain in the computer. Let me go back. Okay, so he's like, it looks like he's blocking some of the shadows, right? And then he's making it see through, where you can see. The brilliant thing about this that I thought it was brilliant, it's like none of the wolves are, that effect is not happening on any of the wolves. It was only happening on the guy, except for this one. And the reason why it's happening on that one is because these highlights, you need to really clearly see his face. So he's muting this part of the wolf so you can see that. And I feel like that's brilliant because it's such a smart way to just treat like the negative space and what needs to happen on that space. Yeah, it's just pretty brilliant. So maybe we can learn a little bit of it, and then maybe what we can do is that we can apply this to this artwork and leave the eyes, because I do want the eyes to be, first of all the way at the top. So I'm going to move them all the way at the top, and I want them to be the main focus of the artwork, and maybe we can try that a little bit. If we pause the stream, are we good? I want to make sure we're good. It looks good on my side. This might be a good time for you guys to like the video and to subscribe to the Adobe Live channel if you're not subscribed to it. But yeah, if you like the video, other people can find out about it, and also during the week they can watch the stream back if they haven't watched it yet, or right now they can just join. So go ahead and like the video if you can. That would be fantastic. Okay, so let's keep adding a layer to this thing. And then let's play with that shadow stuff. I feel like that could be really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do this on top, and maybe we can move it down to be only on top of a few things, right? Like definitely want it on top of this. I feel like that works really well. And you make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, there's a cleanliness to some of those artists that do comic, on how much information they're able to put on a piece of work, and then keeping it like where the communication of it, where you can understand what's happening so well. I feel like that is like so much talent, and there's so much to learn from that. And it's sort of what I'm talking about, right? It's like, dude, how amazing is that they can just do all of this, right? Look how complex this photo is, but then you see everything on it. You see everything on it pretty clearly, and it's just easy to digest, although it's very busy. Same thing with this one, easy to digest. Oh, this is this is similar to that effect of like the shadows are disappearing, and I know it's not a new effect. I know this guy's been around forever. He has a YouTube channel, Alex Ross Art. Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. I think I've seen him drawing live a few times on that channel. Yeah, it's just brilliant the way the compositions work. The other comic that I've been kind of fascinated by, and you guys should definitely check out, especially the art style on it is so good, is Absolute. I think it's Absolute. Okay, let me see. Martian Manhunter. But the Absolute version of it. Yeah, this absolute Martian version of these comics I've been reading as well, and it's such a brilliant way to kind of portray. I'm trying to find some of the photos so you guys can see, but they're doing this hero that's been around forever in this new way, and the art on this book is just spectacular, right? Like the way that they are mixing some of the colors, and they're bringing out some of the brighter things into the darker compositions. Like for example, on this one, obviously it's a different style, it's more painted, but they're mixing two styles over here. As you can see, they're mixing this style that feels more like cubism and like more of a modern style with the comic style, which I feel like is brilliant. So another good recommendation if you want to be inspired by colorful artworks that just make it, it's just great art and great way to communicate visually things. I would check out this artwork as well. And as you can see, a little bit of that, maybe intentional, maybe unintentionally, like I'm creating some of these things and they kind of feel like what I'm consuming as far as like visually, right? And that's the sort of the idea with some of these things. So yeah, let's keep perfecting this thing over here. I want to make a few copies of this one and let's just color overlay it to where we have a few of these other colors that we have in this composition happening together, and just making it fun, right? Just like it's just about like, hey, how do we kind of express this idea or this sort of mindset that we have with this artwork that we're trying to share with other people through the things that we're doing, and maybe adding color, maybe adding different things. We're about to try right now this whole effect thing that we talked about. But first, I feel like, I want the eyes to be highlighted to this thing. So maybe we make everything darker. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I feel like making everything a little bit darker. Or maybe we tweak it a little bit and we add instead of making it darker like this, we sort of make it a little flatter and add a black filter on top of everything. And then we mute that a tiny bit. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the eyes being kind of glowing a little bit on top of the whole composition. But at the same time, I don't want to lose some of the stuff that we've made around that looks so cool and feels so cool, right? Like these kind of glows and these different things. So maybe we have to put it under those, or maybe we need to cut those out of the whole picture, right? Yeah, maybe we mask some of these things out of it. So I'm trying to think if we should keep some of the elements that are lighter in the image so that we can still see the composition happening. This is the thing with these ideas sometimes, like, they work really well in our brains when we're trying to position them in in reality. It's a little harder to pull off because you have to compromise all the things that you've been doing. I do love this. I feel like this her wings in the back, kind of. And maybe we can continue the same motif of like cutting these out of the black. See? Yeah. I'm trying to cut it out, but at the same time, leave some of this stuff out. So only the eyes are glowing through the back. Yeah, I feel like that's powerful, but at the same time, yeah, we're losing some of the colorful magic that we had going on before. A little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. The cool thing about these two is that we could always like draw on top of the color to highlight some areas, right? Like for instance here, I feel like if we do this glow over here, we can just click on it and make the glow happen. Another thing that I want to maybe do, so what we're doing is for everybody, that's trying to follow what we're doing. We did a black layer, but then I have a mask on that black layer, and I'm using it as an opacity thing so that I can highlight only the things that I want. So I want to highlight her face. So I'm looking for that layer. It should be here. And if I draw white, or in this case, no, black on this one, it'll delete that mask. And I'll be able to see this back glowing again. So I'm gonna do that as well here with this kind of colorful glow thing, because I feel like that, yeah, we definitely do want that. We need that kind of glow on the face. But as you can see, I can still go in and kind of accentuate this, and it's going to show us a little bit more of what it looks like without it. So is it worth compromising like some of the other things to show that? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure that it does. That's what we're trying to figure it out. I think like a midpoint like that could be cool. And then what we can do is that we can like play around with it and just make it look like this one is a lot brighter than what it is. Yeah, something like that maybe. Do you guys like this idea of just trying to make it glow a little bit more? I feel like I do, but at the same time, I'm questioning it a little bit. All right, we'll make some of these. We'll do some of these highlights as well. Maybe on the. Let's try making these a different color. I mean, it's very fainted right now, but. I mean, you can really see it when we bump it up, but it multiply a little bit better. Yeah, I do not want to compromise some of the glow also on the skin. So let me bring some of that back. This cool thing about this is that we can just paint some of this stuff out. And that's going to also help make the image look and feel more 3D in a way. I mean, taking a little bit more time to paint these highlights would be ideal. I liked it better before. Yeah, maybe I feel the same way, but I feel like there's something here that we could, with a little bit more of like effort, like bring back some of these highlights, sort of like this. So that whenever let me bring the flow down. That's probably what's happening. It's too harsh. Flow down. And yeah, we're bringing back some of those details. But at the same time, we're preserving kind of like that factor that just feels more special, right? Yeah, and here, the more time you take making the shadows stand out, the nicer it's going to be. I don't want to forget to use that Alex Ross technique. So we'll definitely do that in a second here, but yeah, you see some of the stuff is now sticking out a little bit more. This is what we started with. Let me go back. What we started with, and so far it's darker. It's definitely darker. What do you guys think? Before, after, I mean, before. This feels more like a positive kind of cartoonish cool thing, and this one feels like a little darker. It's getting to the horror territory. I don't hate. I mean, it's not bad. It's just different. It's just different approaches, right? Yeah, we're gonna keep like highlighting some of these things real quick. Let me see if I turn this off. What else did we add that's doing that effect? I think there was something else that we unintentionally add because everything is darker. Oh, this layer for sure. Okay, this layer that flattened the whole thing. Yeah, that's the other thing that we add that is completely just making it super different. I didn't notice her face was this dark before. That was that blue effect. Maybe we can delete a little bit of that too. It's just funny. Sometimes you're creating things and you forget what you've done and what you haven't done and what you had it. Especially on these lives, I feel like it's really easy to just forget. Maybe something like that would be good. I do want to have some shadows. I don't think we have a lot of shadows right now to do that effect successfully. We can try it out though. Okay, let me see on the neck here if we can bring some of the shadows back. Because all of these down here are shadows, but we have this layer going on. So if we do wanted to make that that effect, maybe we would need a little bit more shadows here. Maybe. We'll see. Is that image naturally like that? Let me see the original image. Guys, we did so many layers last episode that we were just going for it. So much fun. All right, I'm gonna add this here just to see what this image looks like real quick. Oh yeah, okay. I see it. I'm sorry. Okay, there it is. All right, so maybe what we can do is that we can also make this a tiny bit lighter over here, but darker over here. Yeah, kind of like that. This brings a little bit more of that volume. We'll try the Alex Ross effect right now. Let's make this background a little bit darker. Her shirt. Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, this is what it's looking at. I think I like the original way better. Everybody likes the original? No. The original is just nicer. It's like it's more like friendly, right? It just feels more positive. This one feels like a rainy day. The other one feels like, you know, hopeful, like nice, like a superhero, but at the same time kind of friendly, but at the same time kind of like, you know, she's very strong. She can do whatever she wants. Man. Okay, you guys win. I'm going back, guys. I'm going back. You guys win. Trying to see what did I do here. Did I delete some of this? I did. Let me bring some of this back. Yeah, because I don't think I can Command Z all the way to where I was, but I can just bring some of these back manually. Sort of like that. Maybe. I do want to have some darker aspects to this. Okay, this is original. This is what we have so far. The other thing that we did is that we added the eyes up here. Do you like the wings or not? I feel like the wings could be cool because we can make a thing out of it. Like we can make it more of a... He's a superhero that has wings, but at the same time, it's her eyes. I feel like it's a cool touch. Also looks like a bow in a way. Do you guys like how I'm selling this idea to you guys to get approval? That's what it feels like, when you're doing like client work. It's like, what do you guys think? You love it? Oh, we're kind of doing that. Okay, what else? Should we try to do... Let me add some color to this. And then maybe we should try to do that effect with the shadows and see where that takes us. Like this. Bit of yellow here. Maybe darker. One thing that we can do in the eyes, this is something that I used to do all the time before. When I first started using Photoshop, I mean, I haven't done this in so long that I can't even remember what it was. The dodge tool. The dodge tool that just makes it to where like everything, it's like a burn tool. It's like it's the opposite of burn tool. So it makes it brighter. You can just make the surfaces where like highlights the whites. And you just makes them blow up like that. Too much, but maybe we can add a little bit of it. I'm having terrible mouse control right now. Maybe up here. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, something like that. So you can really know that it's eyes back there. Yeah, but I feel like we need something here. So maybe we can do the same eyes. Same eyes. Perfect. Let me bring them up real quick so we can cut them out. Cut it. And cut it. Then send them back again. Because I feel like we need some balance on this area. But let's send them all the way back. Sweet. And then we can do something like this. I just feel like it needs... We'll do some color on it right now so that it's... Yeah. We'll do some color on it so that it doesn't stand out as much. I like to do a little bit of that blue. Sweet. And then we'll do the same thing on the other one. And then we'll do a little bit darker down here. Where am I at? Okay. And then we'll do absolute black. So the darkest one we can do to create, or maybe we'll do white, or maybe we'll do pink. I just want to separate it a little bit from the subject on top. So maybe like that would be nice. And then we'll bring in back some of that color in. Yeah, look at that, guys. Looking pretty sick. So I feel like now the central image is probably the top girl, not the bottom one. But yeah, I feel like it's really cool. And we're also, I still think that this is a problem. Not a problem, but it's off balance a little bit with this down here. So maybe just a little bit darker so it matches the weight of this stuff up here. And then the other thing that's a little bit of a problem is that there's an edge on those glasses that is blue up here that I'm not really loving. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we can do one of those like that. Sweet. And then we'll do the same to the other side. Yeah, I like it. And it's looking cool. I'm trying to think of like what else it needs before we move into trying that effect. But I guess we have to because we're pretty close to the time. Let's see before and after, okay? Before still looks nice. It just looks a little bit more friendly, right? Than before. Less menacing. Also, the colors down here are a little bit brighter, so it makes it look a tiny bit nicer. Maybe we can learn from that and just keep it a little bit like this. I also want to see how much this is influencing these scales. It's influencing a little bit, not too much. Yeah, let's move into creating that effect that we talked about. I feel like that would be a cool way to try to bring some of the stuff in here. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to save it without these squares, because I feel like that would be the best way to create the other effect. And I'm going to save it without a background as well. So yeah, just like this. I'm going to create a copy of all of that. And just create one of those. Sweet. And what else do we need to do? Let me think about it. I'm trying to think of all the things that we have to bring to the other artwork to make this work. Okay, so yeah, like this. We're going to copy these. And then we're going to duplicate this bad boy. Yeah, and that way now we can delete everything except for these layers. And hopefully we can create the same effect that we saw and we loved so much. Okay, so the thing about that effect is that it needs a lot of black for it to happen. And it also needs, like we saw, it needs I left the image. I left it somewhere. I don't know where I put the image, but we need that kind of motion background, or like we need that kind of like kind of line background. So easily we can just do that with doing a pixel gradient. At least that's what I call it. So we're gonna make a selection here of 1 pixel. Where are you at? Okay. Selection of 1 pixel. Where are you at? 1 pixel. We're going to do 1 pixel by, how big is this? 4800? The other way around. So what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to just make a 1 pixel selection. Select. And then I'm going to copy paste that selection. And then let's stretch this bad boy out. Like this. Sweet. So we're creating this background. I feel like we did this like 2 episodes ago. So I'm not going to go in detail on how to do it. But you're essentially selecting, copy pasting. And then you kind of create these lines out of that. But I love this because we can extend. These are going to be our background lines. I feel like that's the best way to do it. What's up, Slovakia in the house? Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's great to see you. Join our Discord and hang out with us. And yeah, we're finishing this artwork today. We have only like about 5 minutes left, but there's a lot of other shows going on all the time on Adobe Live that you should be checking out. Okay, so this is going to be our background now. And then this image is going to go to the top, right? And then I still have my squares here because I do want to use them somewhere. But you see, this is already looking kind of cool. And then now let's go select. The best way to do this is probably going to be select color range. And then we're going to go here and select shadows. So we're going to say, hey, everything that's a shadow, you're going to be selecting. And clicking OK. And then now we're going to mask that and invert it. So yeah, there it is. I mean, we're kind of doing it everywhere at once. But this is the effect. It is also very the cool thing about this is if you go select again color range and you're in the mask, you could I mean it's gonna double down on the effect, but you can always like bring back some of this stuff so that it's not everywhere at once. Let's go midtones real quick just to see. Yeah, no, we're gonna stay on shadows. Yeah, so we are. Yeah, we're doing some of that. I wanted to see a live. There's a way to do it. Let me see. Select, color range. Then we're going shadows. Okay, perfect. That's what I meant to do before. Like where you can see what you're doing as you're doing it. Because we want to preserve the softness of it, but then we can bring it down if we want to. Sort of like that. Are we still on shadows here? Yes, we are. Yeah, it's such a cool and interesting effect. I feel like I've done it a few times, like in a different way. Like I've selected but specifically doing it with this kind of background that's almost a blend of the background in the. It's a blend of like the artwork that's on top and then creating that as a background. I feel like it's such a cool and powerful thing to do. Let's do it on the darker tones. So let's reverse this. Yeah, this is essentially the effect. I feel like it's so tasteful. It's definitely let me make a copy of it. I do like what it looks like. What do you guys think? I feel like it's such a cool effect. Let me delete this one and do it again. So I'm gonna select color range, and then I'm gonna pick the shadows. Let's pick the highlights real quick just to see. It's going to be doing the same thing, but because it's inverted, we can bring a little bit more back. But I love how it's doing the eyes like this. Yeah, what do you guys think? Would you like it with the effect or without the effect? I'm trying to decide what I like the most. There's a part of me that really likes this like kind of like, look at this eyes, it's so cool up here. Oh, it's such a cool effect. I feel like yeah, like this alone up here with the eyes and the glow going through the eyes could be a poster on its own. Like it's such a cool. Let me maybe make this thing a little longer up here. Be clear. Get a little longer. I just want a little bit more space on the top. Something like that. Just to see it. Yeah. Yeah, I do like this a lot. I feel like it's a very cool effect. I feel like we can still do something with this with these squares. It just needs to be either cutting into the background or out of it. But I just realized we ran out of time. I'm having too much fun like doing this. But yeah, we ran out of time. But I'll be here next week. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Don't forget to tune in at the same time, 3 p.m. Central Time, or 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Thursday, we're going to be creating something new. Next Thursday, I'm creating one of my kind of like signature design styles, and I'm going to teach you guys how I do that. And I would love to see you here for that. And I'm about to post a screenshot of this on Discord so you guys can see it. Don't forget to go to Discord and submit your own work, and we'll review it, we'll comment it there. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for everything. I'll see y'all. Bye.